with your host, VOCAB Malone.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Ladies and gentlemen, you know who it is. It's VOCAB Malone on Backpack Radio Live. Today is December 4th. You can get double points today if you went to Starbucks. But even though it's Tuesday, December 4th here in the States, it's Wednesday morning in India. My guest today hails all the way from India. We're going to be discussing apologetics in India. And no, that's not a picture of him. What I was doing is showing how apologetics in India goes from the older to the younger. That was the point of that generational span there. But be sure to grab this link right now and share it. And also, if you could, please hit the like button. Okay, 9:30 a.m. I've been corrected in India. 9:30 a.m. It's only 9 p.m. here in Phoenix, Arizona. So that's why I did that. But welcome to Backpack Radio, Brother Francis of Glory Apologetics. How you doing? Oh, yeah, you got to unmute yourself now. All right, let me see if I can hear you, bro. Go ahead. What you got?
Good morning, and it's nice to be here on this live program. जय मसीह की मेरे प्रिय भाई बहनों जो भारत में हैं.
Oh, that's good. Hey, yeah, if you want to give a shout out to any of the people listening in Hindi, feel free to say, or is that all you needed to say in Hindi?
Yeah, I just praise Jesus for joining this live program, and thanks for having me here.
So you clearly speak English and you speak Hindi. Do you speak
Yes,
Urdu as well?
I can speak Tamil, I can speak Marathi.
Are those different dialects in India?
Yeah, yes, these are the different dialects, and Tamil comes from the southern part of India, and Marathi comes from the western part of the India.
So 4 different languages.
Yes.
Well, that could come in handy when you're doing apologetics in India, I guess.
That's benefit of knowing all these languages in India.
All
Can
right.
connect with people easily.
Well, could you please tell people about your YouTube channel, Glory Apologetics?
Yes, so I'll just give you a brief about the channel that I have. As VOCAB mentioned, the name of the channel is Glory Apologetics, and currently this Glory Apologetics YouTube channel is focusing on apologetics in Indian context. We will be diving deep into this discussion, why I started this YouTube channel, but currently we have a good following of approximately 80,000 subscribers, where we do live shows, talk shows, make videos answering tough questions raised by Muslim polemics in Indian critics against the Bible. So these are the videos we make on our YouTube channel.
Excellent. And you also have a website. I know you're working on another, but you do have a website, gloryapologetics.blogspot.com, correct?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Let's get right into this, because I know a lot of people have come on to watch you, which I'm very excited about, and I hope that more people in the Western context become aware of contextual needs, and the Church of Jesus Christ can link up globally, and I hope that this interview could be part of that as we discuss these issues. Guys, listen, let me talk directly to the people watching. I've talked to Brother Francis. I followed his work. He does amazing stuff. He's a great, dynamic, very knowledgeable, seemingly endlessly courteous man, and I really think God's going to do some amazing things there in India, and I believe Brother Francis could be part of it. So, guys, just really gear in tonight. Just pay close attention, ask questions, join the discussion, grab this link, share it, and hit the like button. Please subscribe to this channel. But even though he almost already has 80,000 subscribers, can you guys please also subscribe to Glory Apologetics? And if one of you could drop the link in there. I think Lily R just did. Lily R, I think, just dropped the link. Thank you very much, Lily. We got some great mods and people. Well, Francis, how did you get into apologetics? How did that happen?
Well, that's an interesting question. When people ask me how you got into apologetics, that takes me back to 2007. Now, I, I come from a traditional Christian background. You can call it as Christmas Christian. We go to church only during Christmas. That was my childhood. And when I was 17, the first question came to my mind was, why did Jesus die? Though I was a Christian, I was attending Sunday school, but this question came to my mind, why did Jesus die? And the other questions that were haunting me was, he could have been beheaded, people could have stoned him to death, people could have killed him through fire. Why specific crucifixion? So during that day, I tried approaching some people asking questions. So this was the beginning of my journey into apologetics, asking why did Jesus die specifically on the cross. But 2007, India has a lot of charismatic movement. So I got into a charismatic movement where reasoning was suspended for some time, and it was like
That's
you.
that's a funny way to say it, but I got you. That I like that. Reasoning was suspended.
Yeah, you gotta believe what you believe. You just believe in Jesus Christ. So that's a good thing. Basically, that makes you strongly connected to the Lord. But over a period of time in 2012, the question that was buried under the emotion, why Jesus died and why was he crucified, the same question came up again in my mind, and that time not through my own push of reasoning, but somebody introduced to me our favorite medical doctor, Dr. Zakir Naik. So, so when I was talking to people about
Hold on, just
the
let me stop.
scripture,
Let me stop. Most people, sorry for the interruption. Most people who follow Islamic apologetics, Christian back and forth, if they follow the Dawa guys, right, you know who Zakir Naik is. Zakir Naik has been nicknamed by me personally as Dr. Zakir Nike because he's always running. He won't debate the best apologist in the world. He just debates a couple guys he knows he could pick off, and then he puts on his shoes, his Nikes, and he's always running. So I call him Dr. Zakir Nike. But so you're saying you started listening to some of the arguments by Dr. Zakir Naik, who I don't know if everyone knows, but he is an Indian man as well. And
yes.
what happened then?
So I used to have a lot of discussion with my church members and other Christians about the scriptures, and they thought that, well, you are so knowledgeable. Can you take on Zakir Naik? I said, who is it? I never heard about him. So they said, okay, you go on YouTube and check out his channel and his videos. During that phase, Zakir Naik was very famous in India, holding a big event of 10,000, 20,000 people gathering. The fun part is 20,000 people would gather, but mostly 80 or 90% would not know English, just cheer for him. That mystery is
Hold on,
still
hold
a
on.
mystery for me.
I've actually heard this, what you're saying, but I never knew for sure if it was true. I've heard people say he has these crowds and they actually don't know what he's saying, but so you're saying, you're confirming that's true.
In this, it is indeed 95%, you can say those were fellow Indians. I would say that these meetings would happen maybe 5 or 15 kilometers in the vicinity of my house. So I can 100% be sure that 95%, maybe you can be sure that these people did not know what Zakir Naik spoke, yet they would cheer Naik, 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 Naik.
That's actually what they said. They cheered his name.
I'm just making it
Yeah,
funny.
no, I got you. I
They'll
got
say
you.
Alhamdulillah,
Right,
Alhamdulillah,
right, right, right.
Mashallah.
Okay. By the way, we've got we do have some people joining us from India. I don't know if you it's different times in the continent, isn't it? Or I'm sorry,
Yes.
I'm sorry. It's different times in the country, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so listen, if you're coming in and you're joining us from India, we want to thank you very much. And feel free to use Hindi in the live chat. Not all of us will understand it, but you don't have to use English if you don't want to, but you can use English. Either way, it's great and awesome and fantastic to have you guys. Okay, so you saw
Wonderful.
that. Now what?
So the first time when I saw Zakir Naik, I said, wow, this guy knows more Bible than me. I have to see his videos. Now, the moment I started watching his videos, one of the videos where I stumbled upon, again, the same question, Jesus' crucifixion. I said, my goodness, what happened in 2007 remained unanswered, and I think somebody is answering in 2012. Let me listen to it. So when I tuned into Zakir Naik, I was completely confused, or maybe you can say totally lost in Surah chapter 4, verse number 157. Jesus was not crucified. I was totally confused. Now, somewhere thanks to the charismatic movement, it at least made me connect emotionally to the Lord. So somewhere deep down, I was feeling that something is wrong with this argument, though I was completely convinced. And there was a point where I convinced myself that Islam could be true. And I almost lost my faith, I would say, to be very honest.
Hmm.
And I was thinking, if Islam is true, my goodness, I'm going to hell. I don't want to go to hell. But then again, I started researching, I started talking to preachers, and some of the preachers told me the problem with you guys is that you spend a lot of time on the internet. Stop watching this, go and pray. Lord will deliver you. I said, okay. I tried praying, but my intellectual faculty was asking something more than sitting in a corner and closing my eyes and shouting out, Lord, please save me. During that phase, I stumbled upon one of the guy on YouTube. I'm sure most of the people who are listening would know that's our Kafir King.
Coffer
Yeah,
King.
so
Robert Spencer or
Robert
David?
Spencer, yes, Robert
Oh,
Spencer. Yeah,
by
so
the way,
he's the first.
shout out to David Wood. The Coffer King's not in the live chat, but David Wood is in the live chat. Shout out to you and everybody else. So you stumbled across the Coffer King, then what happens?
So the first time I saw Kafir King, Robert Spencer, I said, this guy knows Islam more than anyone else.
Yeah, yeah.
I started watching his video, and you would not believe there were days where I used to watch his videos whole night, starting 11 p.m. to morning 4 a.m. And I would say, somebody knows Islam. I emailed him. I do not know whether he remembers that or not. I used to ask questions, and he was very courteous enough to respond. And while watching him, I stumbled upon David Wood.
Ah, okay. So you went from one Coffer King to the next.
Yes, and the first show of Dr. Wood, which I saw, was Jesus or Muhammad. So
Mm.
Jesus or Muhammad was my, inspiration. I could feel that somebody is answering the questions which I'm struggling with. So ever since I found confidence in Christianity and the crucifixion question was answered, I was introduced to Answering Islam website, some of the articles written by Sam Shamoon. So I'm thankful to these three guys, David, Sam Shamoon, and of course Robert Spencer was the first point of contact. But somewhere deep down, I still felt that I want to learn from an Indian who
Mm.
could answer Zakir Naik. Why everybody is from the Western world?
Right.
Then I came across one of my fellow Indian brother, Jerry Thomas. He has his own apologetics called Sakshi.
Hold on, hold on. So let's give him a shout out. His name is Jerry Thomas.
It's Jerry Thomas. It's
And
really good.
how do you say? How do you spell Sakshi? Sakshi?
Yes.
Sakshi. Okay. Is it English and Hindi?
But 95% it is English and Malayalam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's how these are the initial phase of my life in 2012 and 13, where I started learning about Islam and feeling confident about my own faith. And then I started my own research, started downloading Quran, Hadiths, and various other books, reading myself, because I did not want to trust David Wood just because he spoke about Islam, because I had that biasness. Well, this is a Christian and he might be biased towards Christianity. Let me read it myself.
Right. Right.
So when I downloaded the Quran, Hadiths, when I started reading more and more, I said, wow, there's more to it. And the things that I read in 2012, those were the things which I could actually see in the series of Islamize Me, which you guys did, that licking the finger, oh, whatnot. I don't want to describe that.
So
This
so it
was
it seems like you were somewhat enjoying Islamicize Me.
absolutely. I'm a pro series guy. I would want that series to come back again, season 2 maybe.
Okay. All right. Cheers to that. All right. So
Yeah.
so you saw this stuff directly in the sources. Then what happens, brother?
So when I started researching in the sources, and I got a lot of information about Islam and Christianity, then my comparative study started. When I compared the character of Muhammad with Jesus, the authenticity of the Bible with the Quran, then it blew my mind. My goodness, the God that I'm worshiping is an amazing God, and the book in the form of Bible that we have has power to change life.
Amen.
And this is the first verse which I took for myself. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain and death is gain. That's the first verse. I took it for myself. And another verse, I am set for the defense of the gospel. And I became a Facebook apologist for a while, maybe from 2013 to 2015.
That's how a lot of us start. Facebook apologist. Okay, that's step one. All right, then that's good though.
Step one, I was a Facebook warrior, Facebook soldier, smashing the keys. I said, no, this is the last day, and I'll be debating people on Facebook. And the next 5 minutes, I'll be like, "Did you just say? Where did Jesus say I am God? Wait, I'm coming there." So,
yeah, I think we've all been there. So I got you on that. That's awesome.
Excellent.
So then what happens? Eventually, you shook the addiction, though, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So, by the time 2015, I was feeling a little awkward. Why there is no one in India dealing with these Muslim apologists or the arguments against Christianity? Then again, we have Brother Jerry Thomas, but mostly his videos are in English. He has reviewed the debate video between Zakir Naik and William Campbell so nicely. People started loving him, but I felt people love things in their own
Yep.
mother tongue.
Especially if
Better.
they don't understand the other thing. By the way,
Yeah.
I don't want to break your train of thought, but David Wood just said, maybe we should get Francis a plane ticket so he can join us for some videos.
Oh my, I'm so happy.
Yeah, you're going to...
Thanks, David.
You're going to be Dr. Zakir Naik's son. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that to you. Nah, but okay, so go ahead. So, because you showed me some of your older videos, which were in English, and they were an excellent job. But I'll be honest, Francis, one of the first things that impressed me most about what you're doing, even though clearly I wasn't able to fully grasp the content, when I saw that everything was in Hindi, right away I said, that's important work. I said, I don't think this is happening a lot. Because... well, there's a lot of reasons why. I don't want to get into I don't even know all the reasons, but there's some reasons why I know a lot of apologetics, even by Indians or Indian folks in the Western world, it's in English a lot of times. But the second I saw that, I said, this is really, really important. So I'm glad you went that route. I think that's amazing. And I think the Lord has confirmed that decision in your ministry, hasn't he?
Amen. Yes, and that was the thought in 2015 when I was trying to find out videos in Hindi. I could not find anything, and I was surprised. And I was praying to the Lord, Lord, please raise someone, please equip someone to make videos in Hindi, debate people in Hindi, bring revolution in apologetics in India, especially in this language, because
Yes.
India is a land of people with different languages, but Hindi, though not a national language, it is one of the official languages. Most of the states in India, people speak Hindi and they understand Hindi. And the northern part of India, completely Hindi. So I said somebody should be there. While I was thinking, and one question popped into my mind, what are you doing? Why are you waiting for somebody else? So I said, yeah, that's a good question. I said to myself, that's a good question. Why should I be waiting for others? I said, the day I said I'm glad to live for Christ and death is gain, I should start something. So I started this Glory Apologetics. The channel was created in 2015, but since I did not know video making, I was not good on camera. I was little hesitant. Started with English videos, answering where did Jesus say I am God, Zakir Naik's argument on I'm more Christian than the Christians, all these
Right.
arguments. But over a period of time, the push for Hindi started, pushing me more. And then I started my Hindi series. You'd not believe, vocab, for 1 year, I could hardly have um, 800 or 700 subscribers. I was disappointed. I was like, okay, India doesn't need apologetics. Hell with that. I said, okay, I'm going back to my own Facebook apologetics. But somewhere deep down, somewhere deep down, I said, no, I have to do something because maybe people do not know, they have not tasted apologetics. So I kept on making videos and videos after videos, videos after videos. But 2017 was an amazing year. 2018 was an amazing year. I just shared the memory. The same day, 2 years ago, I had 700 subscribers, and now today, around 80,000. It's growing rapidly, and we have testimonies.
Hold on. Are you saying in 1 year you added 70,000 plus to your channel?
Yes.
In 1 year? So that was from 2017 to 2018?
Yep. Yes.
That's like, what happened? Do you have any idea what happened? I've never heard of such a thing. I mean, that's, for an apologetics channel, that is utterly unbelievable. That is amazing. I kind of thought you'd been doing it. I guess I assumed you had a couple years and then it was building. I didn't realize it was sort of relatively recent and it just blew up like that. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's because in 2017, or rather in 2017, I was going to churches wherever there were small meetings. I used to attend and introduce my channel. Please subscribe to my channel. This is Glory Apologetics. I make videos on Zakir Naik. But the response was very low. And similarly, I attended one of the program where I was invited to introduce my channel just for 5 minutes. I attended the program, and then the speaker forgot to call me in front to introduce my channel. So I was like sad face. I was returning home. I was on the bike. I said, Lord, I came all the way 40 kilometers to talk about Glory Apologetics, but I didn't get opportunity. While I was riding the bike, I realized something was missing from my pocket. Gosh, I lost my wallet on the highway.
Oh
That
boy.
was more painful. I said, okay, I was searching for my wallet, my license, my credit card, and everything I lost on the highway. And I was on the highway standing and confused. Lord, I just went for your work and I lost my wallet and nothing happened. But believe me, uh, somewhere in my heart, I felt this voice, I will do the work. It's not your job. I don't know whether it was a Lord's voice or my inner voice or my confidence, whatever. It came from my heart that this is not your job. I will do the job. And from the very next moment, the subscriber count started increasing like crazy. 1,000, 5,000, 6,000 in 3 months, and then 70,000. I'm equally surprised as you are.
That is absolutely amazing. Did you ever find your wallet?
No, I
Oh,
didn't
so
find my wallet
you
yet.
had to get all your stuff new. Now I don't know if
Lost everything.
it's true, but I have some missionary friends in New Delhi, and they were saying how this is what they were saying. Maybe it's just because they were newer. They're saying everything in India takes longer with the red tape and the slow bureaucracy. Did it take you a while to get your stuff back?
Oh, therefore I was standing on the highway and was crying I was crying. Literally, I was crying. There was tears in my eyes, not just because I lost stuff. It takes time for me to get my license back.
Yeah.
The turnaround time from the licensing authorities are too big. I have to wait for maybe 10, 15 days without a license. Credit cards I got in 2 days, but license, yeah, it takes a lot of time.
Were you
That
crying?
was painful.
Were you crying in Hindi or English?
I was crying. I was crying in tongues. I was crying in tongues.
Oh man. Okay, so you mentioned how you kind of been trying to rally and organize Indian churches, and there were not a lot of success. Well, how's it been lately to energize some of the ministries and churches and organizations there? What's your sort of update on that?
Yeah, I'll come to that. Let me add few more points to your previous question, how I got into apologetics,
Oh,
which I
okay.
did not complete yet.
Okay,
So,
sorry.
no problem. I made it very long because I got excited.
That's all
Okay.
right.
Yeah, that's how I got into apologetics. And one of the reasons why I'm into apologetics, because I strongly believe that Matthew chapter 28, verse numbers 19, which says, therefore, go and make disciples. Now, this is a very strong passage for anyone willing to become an apologist. Why I'm saying this? Because when Jesus said, go and make disciples, he did not say go and make followers. He did not say go and make fans. He did not say go and make devotees. He said disciples. And when he said disciples, he asked us to deal with human being. The moment I go up to someone and tell him that, you know what, Jesus Christ loves you and you can become a Christian, the first question from him would be why. The moment you are answering that why question, you are already into apologetics. So evangelism goes hand in hand with apologetics. The day I realized that, I said, these two are my area. And in 2007, coming to your next question about my rallying and everything, 2007, when I got saved, uh, uh, I started my ministry on the streets. So I still do that. I go on street, distribute tracts, distribute gospel literature, talking about Christ, singing songs, preaching open air. I started that from 2007 and still it is happening. I'm sure you must have seen some of the videos on YouTube. So that's the kind of rally I do on the streets, going, distributing, singing songs, praising Jesus, preaching Jesus to all. So this is happening as a street evangelism on one side. And on the other side, 2018 has been a good year for us because people started recognizing Glory Apologetics. They've seen our content, and there are testimonies where on live show, people asking us to pray. There was a Muslim guy on the live show. He requested us to pray because he was convinced that Jesus is Lord. And there was a Hindu guy who asked me a question on live show, and a couple of days later he sends a message that I got saved, thanks for the videos. So these testimonies were impressing Christian churches, and they started inviting me. uh, the impact is not more in the churches in terms of conducting seminars, but we do a lot of seminars and events across the country at the moment. Various topics like answering Islam, answering Hinduism, how to share gospel to Muslims, the cults which we were discussing earlier, Mother Jerusalem,
Yeah.
Jehovah's Witnesses. So these are the topics on which we do a lot of seminars in India.
Okay, so Bento Fernandez says, Brother Francis, would you agree that Vocab, David, Robert, and Sam are all Akarashak Parush? Translate the Hindi words. I don't know what they're trying to say.
Okay, let me read it out.
AAKARSHAKPURUSH.
Akarshak Purush.
What's that mean?
How do I translate that into English? Akarshak Purush, attractive men. I could say, yeah, these guys are attractive. Yeah, they are smart.
Thank you very much. All right. Well, I'm glad I read that comment.
And David Wood is smart as always, and vocab, no doubt. And we have our triple B, big, bold, and beautiful. Our Sam Shamoon also, Hulkmania.
All right. Now, I am going to get to our interview questions, but I have a super chat, so I do need to get into one question from a person in the live chat. Lily R. She's awesome. She says, is there a lot of persecution like there is in Pakistan?
Yes, indeed. Every single day you would get to hear some of the other persecution story from various parts of India. Now, when I say persecution, uh, there are some similarities between this radical Muslim group and a radical Hindu group. You would see a lot of videos. I'll introduce to your website. I am promoting it free of cost for them. Persecution Relief. There is a website called Persecution Relief. If you just log into the website, you would come to know there are many Christian pastors who are accused of false conversion, people entering into the churches, vandalizing the church property, taking down the music instruments, hitting the priests, blocking the way of people. Lot of persecution. I mean, I don't have list to read it out. What are the recent ones? But there are many cases where people are hit, people are put behind the bars with false charges. Yeah, there are a lot of persecution. Yes, and just to add, last Sunday when I was on the street, I was distributing the literature track. One fellow, he just came. I was playing the music, and the music was about Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you. This fellow said, he took the literature from my hand and said, "Band karo, band karo." I'm like, "Stop it, stop it." And he was like showing his big red eyes. "Stop it." I said, "What's your problem? I'm talking about Jesus." He said, "Who is Jesus? Take your Jesus away." I said, "Fine, you give the literature back. If you don't want to hear, no problem." He said, "You cannot do that." I said, "If you have any problem, go and get the cop. I'll deal with the cop." So he went away. So these are the challenges. Even in the metro cities like Mumbai, we face. Let me not also talk about the villages where people are persecuted very badly.
Oh, yeah. Wow. We have a couple people kind of commenting on some of that based upon what they heard. For example, I'm not sure if this relates, but someone says you should search Nagaland in India. The state is 90% Christian and is very tribal. Nagaland.
Yep.
So you know
Yep.
about this?
Not much, but yeah, Mizoram, Nagaland, you will find a lot of Christians there. Yes, it is true.
Praise God. And then Michelle says there is massive persecution going on in Indonesia. The Christian presidential candidate last year was put in jail for quoting the Quran and telling Muslims to read the Bible. And then oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm listening.
One more comment. Night Rain says Christianity is being persecuted silently. You can't even imagine. They are burning down churches and killing pastors.
Wow.
Okay, so
But vocab, just
yes,
one point to add here. Now, when we talk about persecution, I always tell my people when I take seminars or when I conduct program that persecution is not new to Christianity. We've been
right.
persecuted from day one, right from the days of Jesus. Jesus himself was persecuted. But the kind of persecution Indian Christians are facing today, which I have to highlight, is an intellectual persecution,
Mm.
because Satan knows he can do more damage by joining the churches than standing against it, and he does in the form of cults. So in India, the rise of cults like Jehovah's Witnesses, Mother Jerusalem, and various Eastern cults are growing like crazy. And you know what, there's a cult in India called as Prajapati movement. Have you heard about it?
The last thing you said, no. The Mother Jerusalem, I think a lot of people might know, Korean-based cult that they go
Yeah.
around and they say, "Hey, do you know our Heavenly Mother?" And they show a couple verses
Yeah.
for that. But the last thing you said, I don't know about them. Tell us about them.
Yes, so I just want to give a heads up to my Indian viewers if they're watching. There's a guy in India, I don't want to name him. He says that Hindu scriptures, that Vedas and Brahma Shastras and other Shastras have prophecy of Jesus Christ, and it talks about Jesus Christ. And he holds huge meeting, people attending in thousands and lakhs sometime. People listen to the stuff which is not true. So they claim that Vedas of Hindu scripture talk about Jesus
Hmm.
Christ. But when I read it, when I researched it, I didn't find anything. I found a legendary Jesus Christ who identifies himself as the messenger and a worshipper of sun god. So Christian need to be very careful. These are the intellectual attack on Christianity. On one side, Prajapati movement, cults like Jehovah's Witnesses, Oneness Pentecostals, so many cults are attacking Christianity more than the physical persecution, I would say. This is
That
the
That's
Yep.
a, no, that's a
Yep.
good point. That's a good point to take it to the realm of ideas, because ultimately, we look at 2 Corinthians 10:3-5, and there we see that we cast down arguments that exalt themselves up against the knowledge of Christ, and we take those sort of intellectual strongholds. That's what the Christians are supposed to do, and it's good to hear you take it there. You mentioned with the Mother Jerusalem cult, they just had a massive meeting with hundreds of people baptized into it. You told me about this before we started.
Yes. Yes. So last year we got an invite from Ahmednagar, it's one of the western part of India. So we got an invite from the church community where the pastors gathered together and they wanted to organize a session on Mother Jerusalem. When we asked them what is the objective of organizing this,
Uh-huh.
they were very disturbed and they said we lost 400 plus members from our church. 400 plus members. I said, what do you mean? 400 plus members got convinced that Jesus Christ has returned in the form of a Korean called An Sang Hong, and he has a wife called Mother Jerusalem. Her name is Jangilja. So 400 plus people got baptized into the church, and they are going there. So please come and do a session on how to refute them, how to
Hmm.
identify these guys. So this was one of the big event we did in Mumbai.
Wow, wow. So I think most people, I'm looking at the live chat here, Francis, and a lot of people were able to tell some things are the same. Christians across the centuries, across the globe, but I think people are also realizing there's unique apologetic challenges in India. Now, can we talk about one specifically for a second? Because this is one of the most fascinating things, and it does have to do with Hinduism. For example, everyone knows, generally speaking, about what they consider Salafi or sometimes Wahhabist or so called radical extremist Muslims. Some people
Mm,
know about so called extremist Hindus as well.
mm.
But I think it's very interesting to sort of hear the approach that the nationalistic Hindus take. Can you take some time here, talk a little bit about the challenges of Hinduism in India for a Christian in regards to worldview and even persecution and what that looks like on the day to day?
All right. So you don't have to be searching for sources to know what is happening in India to Christians. Just googling it out would tell you what is exactly happening in India. So I'll just give you a brief idea from an Indian context or from an Indian perspective. If you remember, before the live could start, we were discussing about the radical groups in India. So now I'm sure people listening to us would have heard about radical Muslim groups talking about converting the whole world into an Islamic world by 2050 or maybe some other date. You would hear the same thing in India, that people are aiming to convert India into a Hindu Rashtra, that is Hindu nation, by 2025 or maybe later than that, because the whole ideology in the country is based on India belongs to Hindus
Okay.
and India is a Hindu land. Even most of the TV debates, if you watch, they would be on religious topics.
Mm-hmm.
This country runs on religious topics. Even
Really?
the vote banks are based on religion, and you would find a lot of fight between people on Hindu versus Muslim or Hindu versus Christian. So a lot of pressure in India where people get offended very easily if you talk even one small thing about Hinduism.
Okay, so you mentioned before we started as well that a Hindu could put up a video saying, "Let's have all-out war, or let's have a religious war," but then a Christian will put out a video criticizing Muhammad, and that one gets taken down, and the other one remains up for all eternity, or something like that.
Absolutely. So, no, I don't want to name that guy again. He made a YouTube video where he clearly says that we will wipe out Christians from the face of India.
Hmm.
And he was holding the sword in his hand, which I have responded and refuted in one of my video. He holds the sword in his hand and he says, "I will wipe out Christians, and we as group will ensure that Christians will no longer exist in India." And he openly calls out war. He calls out people, all the Hindus, to join and fight against Christianity. And on the other hand, if you make a video responding to this guy, YouTube will ensure the video, which is an actual hate speech, remains on YouTube. But the video which I make, as I mentioned, a video on Zakir Naik, do Muslims follow Christianity? I'm sorry, what was the video name?
Are
More
Muslims
Christian
more
than Islam.
Christian than
Yeah,
Christians?
yeah, that was a video which was taken down by YouTube. And if you make any video on Hinduism, it gets flagged and it's taken down very quickly than those threatening videos which are made by Hindus.
So that creates another challenge, of course, as well, because then you try to communicate the message, and it seems like there's a certain level of protection for Hinduism within
Yes.
the superstructure there.
Yeah, because most of the political party have their agenda as Hindutva. Hindutva is their agenda. So basically, most of the political party in India gain people attraction on this point, that if you are a Hindu, follow us. If you are a Hindu, you would listen to us. So this is the emotional trap which most of the politicians and most of the guys have created in India, and you will find a large number of people following that stuff.
So let's say I'm an Indian Christian, and a Hindu evangelist or apologist comes up to me, Brother Francis. What is their argument to me to try to get me to be a Hindu and not a Christian?
Come again, sorry.
What's the argument that a Hindu gives to a Christian who's
Okay.
Indian to try to become a Hindu? Because we talked about this before. Can you kind of break down to people the way that they argue or try to compel people to come or convince them?
Uh, the first word is right, compel. They don't convince mostly, because the first line of argument is, you know what, you're a converted hashtag or whatever, dash dash or whatever, censor. You're a converted censor. You know what, your ancestors were Hindus, and you guys, your ancestors, just because the Britishers or the Christian missionaries gave you 2 kg of rice or something to eat, you sold your soul and you sold your faith and you became Christian. Hinduism is the oldest religion on the face of the earth. So you should be worshipping Hindu gods. You should be following Hinduism because this is the oldest religion. Christianity is just 2000 years old. Islam is just 1400 years old. So you have to believe in the oldest religion. That's the first line of argument. And if you get into an argument of Hindu sources or maybe the hope for eternity, they would not have any answer, and then resort to violence, resort to name calling, personal attacks. So they don't have strong arguments. At least Islam has some strong arguments. They can promise, okay, in heaven you will get huris. Some people get excited, but Hinduism, you don't get any.
Yeah, now help me out. if I, I did some reading on some of my apologetic resources to brush up on my Hinduism, and when I got back into it, I said, "Oh my gosh, this is so big. There are so many different gods or avatars of them. There's so many different kinds of Hindus because different people are slaves or servants or devoted to different gods. The history is so long. The rituals are different. It varies from region to region." And then I looked, and the sources were massive themselves. There's so much literature, and I just was overwhelmed with it, with how much there is. And I remember you said that that's one reason why there's not as many apologists to Hindus. But going back, I don't want to lose my train of thought too much. At the end of the day, it's nirvana, right? You become salt in sort of dissolved into an ocean, right? I mean, isn't that what happens in Hinduism?
Again, the point that you made about nirvana getting dissolved into the reality called Brahman, that comes from one of the school of thoughts from Hinduism. So the Orthodox Hinduism has at least six major school of thoughts. I would just read it out for you. One is Nyaya philosophy, one is Samkhya, the third one is Yoga, the third is Vaisheshika, the fifth one would be Purva Mimamsa, and the last one would be Uttara Mimamsa Vedanta. So currently, you would find yoga philosophy and this Vedanta philosophy, very prominent in India. The others like Charvaka or Buddhism, or these are not very strong in India at the moment, but the Vedanta philosophy at the moment is very strong. So as I mentioned in our discussion before we could start this live, most of the Hindus have no clue what school of thought they believe. So what they do is they mix up all the philosophies together. It's a mashup, and you can call it as popular Hinduism.
Yeah.
So the idea of nirvana or mukti, which you are talking about, may be true to you, and I may have a different opinion, yet I would be still right. So nobody knows exactly what Hinduism is. It's an ocean, I would say.
So do all the schools of thought have at the sort of end or the final state of affairs something like nirvana, or is that only one school of thought?
Yeah, so the nirvana thing, which you call it as mukti, or maybe the ultimate salvation, is basically the bottom line of all the school of thought. So every school of thought would push you to the end. Either you have to realize that you have God in you, or you are God Himself. Or the other school of thought would say that you have to leave away all the desires and get dissolved into Brahman.
And so there is a loss of personal identity at the end, isn't there? That sounds like a loss of personal identity at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yep. It's true.
What a strange goal. It seems as if it's a direct attack in some ways on the Imago Dei, all men and women made in the image of God. Here you have the end goal of religious systems being to basically erase that away, to say you lose your personal. That's actually a goal to achieve, is to lose your personal identity. Now, I guess it's because there's something greater to it, or some kind of bliss that you experience, but it nonetheless seems like a very strange goal.
Yeah, indeed, it's true. And there's one of the school of thoughts in India, which you call it as Jainism. In Jainism, you have Digambara Jainism and Shvetambara Jainism. So one of the school of thoughts where you have to be born as a male to attain nirvana. So once you are born as a male, you have to give away all the desires, and the end of the thought would be you have to just take off all your clothes in front of a crowd. You'll have a big gathering, thousands of people gathering. Take off all your clothes, and you have to maybe stay naked till you die. So you would see naked people, walking on the streets with their family, with their wife and their grandchildren on the street, and these people claim to have attained nirvana, and these are the guys to go to heaven or attain nirvana or moksha.
Hold on.
And if you're a woman,
you're saying if I'm in India and I see someone butt naked walking on the street, it's because they're more religious or holy and went through a ceremony. So if I want enlightenment, I go ask a naked guy.
Yes, and you may have seen some of the videos on YouTube where even these guys were invited to talk in parliament houses also. So that's the state of my country where religion.
Did they come naked? They went naked to parliament?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, just I mean,
Now I
okay.
have to be a little careful because this video will be live on my channel, and I am bit not scared but concerned because people would take it as being sensitive to the religious sentiments.
My apologies.
Not
All
for you,
right.
I should.
No, I got you. Okay, so we're taking all this in, and it's clear you have different considerations. Uh, it's so much to tackle. It seems like you could make a video a day for the rest of your life, and your job wouldn't be done.
Yeah, yes. Even if I start, daily videos, I would be having, a laundry list of videos to make till I die.
Okay, so what do you hope happens on the apologetic front in regards to apologetics in India? What are your hopes, your dreams, your goals? What would you like to see happen?
Well, I'm very happy that the new generation, the young guys, are more connected on social media, and that's where the fun begins. And the moment they're connected to the social media, there are merits and demerits. The demerits are they get attracted to false teachings, but also at the same time, when they get attached to these false teachings, now the responsibility of the church comes in. When they get confused, they go and ask the pastors or preachers or elders. Now the preachers and elders should learn that I have to answer these guys rather telling them go in a corner, sit and pray. Yes, prayer has power, no doubt about it, but these skepticisms, doubts should be eliminated. So this is the hope that I have, that young people are more connected to social media where they're prone to false arguments and false teachings. So they research their own. Some of the guys have started following our YouTube channel, created their own, taking materials from us, making their own videos. And most of the places where I do seminars, a lot of young guys come and meet me and tell me how they are influenced and how they are researching the Bible. So the new generation is spending more time on research. That's one good thing. And recently, last month, we had a very huge program in one of the parts of India where we had around 2,000 young people gathered. I've sent you a picture, you must have seen. 2,000 young people gathered for 2 days learning the scriptures. Q&A was awesome. I was shocked to listen to the kind of questions that was coming randomly from the 2,000 crowd. So yeah, the hope for apologetics in India is very bright. The only challenge is people should not stick to English.
Mm.
People should start exploring in languages like Marathi, and very soon 2019 I have one brother with me. He will be making videos in Tamil, so you can see me talking in a live show in Tamil also, and one of my brother is going to help me in Marathi. So various Indian languages should be used for making apologetics videos.
Yeah.
Otherwise we are not going anywhere.
Yeah, praise God. Contextualize. You know,
Yeah.
you're planted in a certain place. God sovereignly has you there. And contextualize. If you've got the language facility, do it in those languages. I 100% agree. Well, let me ask you one more question, and then let's transfer over to taking a few questions from the live chat. How can people watching this video, especially Westerners, how can they help you, and how can they help what's going on in general? What are some requests that you would have? Oh, I think you might have dropped off for a second, but I think you're trying to call back. All right, we're trying to reconnect here. Got a poor connection. So I am looking through the live chat right now while that connection is getting worked out. But as you guys can tell, Brother Francis is an awesome dude with an amazing ministry. He's a great interview, isn't he? He's funny. He's quick. I mean, this guy, man, amazing. Okay, we're back connected. How can people help who are watching? What are some ways they can help your ministry and apologetics in India in general? What do you want them to do?
Okay, so yes, we do need a lot of support from my Indian friends, especially Indian friends. Now people would be just raising their eyebrow. This guy is going to ask money. No. The only support that we as Christian Apologetics Network in India need is please talk to your churches, talk to the institutions, organize more and more seminars, especially for
All right, I got you on that. Looks like it's
this is the
okay.
first.
Okay, sorry, you cut out for a second. Go ahead. I heard what you said. Talk to your churches and try to organize more events. Okay, next thing.
Yeah, organize the seminars with your churches. And second thing is, I would request all of my Indian friends to start forming groups, maybe WhatsApp groups, not the Facebook groups, individual WhatsApp groups with your church members, and start studying the scriptures. And if you need resources, I'll just share my email ID, gloryapologetics@outlook.com. You will get all sort of resources you want. You need video lectures, you need audio lectures, you need ebooks, you need PDFs, you get everything. But all we need is your support from this front, that you equip yourself and your church. And the third thing, please get onto the streets. Please get onto the streets. Go and preach gospel. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. We have a strong constitution in India to help us legally. So don't get scared. Go on the street. This is the support that I'm expecting from people to come up to come ahead, promote apologetics in the churches, form your own group, and get onto the street preaching gospel. This is all I would need from the people in India.
And subscribe to his channel. Can people in the West help? Can people in the West help at all?
Hello.
Francis, I was asking if people in the West can help.
Yes, they can help probably by sharing our videos, and at the moment praying. All that's all. Nothing much to ask from the people in the West. They can remember is in prayer, strength is in his prayer. That's it.
All right, we got a few questions here from the live chat, my friend. One is someone has a roommate who is a Hindu in graduate school, and they want to know what is the best way to approach the situation to help win them to Christ. If you are still there, we're reconnecting again. So hopefully, Renee, we can get to that question when he comes back. And so again, I ask everyone watching to please subscribe to Brother Francis's channel at Glory Apologetics. Check out some of the other ministries he's mentioned as well. And then, just pray for pray for the country of India. Pray for the people of India. There's a lot going on there. According to my understanding, it's one of the places in the world where Christianity is growing faster than Islam, which is an amazing, amazing thing. And so there's some amazing things happening there. And I see India is very important. Francis and I talked about this a little bit before the show, in sort of the future of global Christianity. However, there are some serious challenges that remain. All right, I got a super chat while I'm waiting for Francis to reconnect. I'll look up and mention that. Thank you, VOCAB and Francis. Francis, amazing work in India. Thanks. All right, Brother Francis, are you back with us? Nope, it's still reconnecting. Guys, I'm sorry. I mean, it's halfway across the globe, so, we're doing what we can here. He said this might happen, but I'm glad that we were able to get through most of this without that happening too much. I see Pine Creek asked a question. I kind of lost your question where it went. There's actually quite a few people here. We were up to 160 people watching, and I kind of lost track without of some of these questions. But if we don't get them again, then it will not work. But I tell you what, isn't this a guest that you would like to have back on? I mean, this is a guest that I would love to have back on. And my guess is David Wood, after seeing this interview with Brother Francis, David Wood might even want to interview or do something with Brother Francis as well, because I think he can see, some of the gifts and abilities and just kind of fun personality that Brother Francis has. So listen, subscribe to his channel, check out some of the ministries he mentioned. And Thursday, let me tell you what's going on Thursday. All right, Thursday, I'm going to be going live again. Not as late. I just had to do this because this is when his schedule would work. But when I go live Thursday, I'm most likely going to be doing a thing on 1 John, sort of a Bible study. You guys know sometimes I do those kinds of shows where I do a Bible study. Just a minute here. It looks like I think brother is trying to call back. So let's see if we can reconnect here, and we'll end the show with a few questions to him. We're trying to reconnect with him right now. But a Thursday, it looks like I'll be doing a Bible study type of live show, which we do from time to time. People seem to appreciate, on 1 John 1 through 4. Let me see here. It's weird. He's calling me on my phone, but He's not picking up. Okay, looks like we got him again as far as the call. You know what? I might suggest let's knock out your video and just do audio, Brother Francis. How about that? That might help. Can you hear me? Man. Okay. Again. Let's maybe we'll just do audio. If it doesn't work, guys, we're just gonna have to end this, and like I said, we'll try to get him on again. But my next live stream will be Thursday, and I'm gonna do that. Then after that, I'm trying to get into. Hey, Brother Francis, can you hear me?
Yeah, hi, I'm really sorry. Some
That's
bad
okay.
internet connection.
What do you
I'm so
think
sorry.
if we end? I think it might be easier if we end on audio only, because I think it makes the connection a little easier. What do you think of that idea?
I think now the connection is restored. We can go, maybe. We can
Okay.
try once.
Well, if we get knocked off again, we'll kind of just end there. But I do have a
Sure.
couple questions. Someone said that they have a roommate in college that they're going to be moving in with in the dorm, I guess, who's
Okay.
Hindu. I guess one Hindu
Mhm.
roommate, one Muslim roommate, and they were asking you how do they approach the situation.
To share the gospel.
Yes, and by the way, thank you for the super chat. For I'm not sure if I mentioned your name, Night on Fire. But yeah, how to share the gospel with the Hindu roommate and the Muslim roommate.
Well, if you're approaching the Hindu roommate, just introduce the love of Christ, because most of the Hindus, as I mentioned, they do not know their own scripture. So I'm not saying use it for your benefit, but the moment you talk to them about the love of Christ, and that works very strongly in India. We talk about the love of Christ, his love on the cross, what he has done for us. Most of the time this convinces them, and if it doesn't convince them, start asking questions. I would say start asking questions like Jesus did. The first question you could ask them is probably, what do you think about what do you think about your faith? Where does it lead to you? What happens to you when you die? Are you sure about your salvation? And if he talks about karma, I request you to watch my video on karma which I made. There are some philosophical challenges on this topic called karma. So take a look at that video. You can use those arguments, not arguments, the points, while discussing with your Hindu friend. So two things: just talk about the love of Christ. Second thing, talk about karma and moksha. The karma is basically you are paying for your previous life's sins. So talk about that. Talk about the moksha, the assurance of salvation in Christianity, where Hinduism doesn't offer. So this one approach you can take with a Hindu friend. And with your Muslim friend, again, talk to him about Isa. Talk to him about Isa al-Masiha. Who is Isa al-Masiha in the Quran? Talk to him about the unique characteristics of Jesus Christ. Talk to him about Jesus Christ of the Quran, who had a special privileges of giving life to the bird made out of clay, the special privilege of being not touched by Satan, a special privilege of being holy, special privilege of being called the Word of God, the Spirit of God. So talk to him about this Jesus. And if you encounter any objections from an Islamic perspective, like Zakir Naik type of objections, you would mostly hear from your Indian Hindu friend, Muslim friend. You have, of course, David Ward on some of my videos on my Glory Apologetics, which might help you to answer his question. So these are the two approaches you can take. Number one, present the gospel of Christ. Second, be ready to answer. That's all.
Awesome. Awesome. Let me see. There's another question. I think someone asked earlier about the similarities between Hinduism and Christianity. They were asking, are there similarities between the two faiths?
No, there are no similarities at all. The
Oh, shoot. Again. Guys, listen. If he doesn't come back on, then we do got to end this. I'd hate to, because hey, RK, what are you doing in here? I gotta put you on timeout. I've been ignoring some of the stuff you're saying for a while, but now you're coming on here saying, if a moderator gets to you first, let him go ahead. Indian Christians are stupid. What is wrong with you? What's the deal? We're all good and happy and having fun here, and then you come on talking about Indian Christians are stupid. Someone put him on timeout. Where'd you go? Yeah. All right. I'm going to put you on timeout, RK, and then if you... Yep, there we go. All right. If I catch that kind of stuff, but by and large, I do want to actually say thank you to everybody. As far as in the chat today, people have been really well behaved. I've been very appreciative of that. Do we have Shiva in the chat? Someone's mentioning we have Shiva in the chat. I don't see Shiva in the chat. Where's Shiva? Someone said we have Shiva in the chat, which that's kind of a funny joke, but I don't see Shiva. Okay, this is on my phone, Brother Francis. It's not.
So sorry, I just moved out of the cabin and I'm just walking inside my office area. I'm sure the network will be better now.
That's all right, but this you're on my phone for some reason. What it does is you're trying to reconnect on my on my laptop, but you're on my phone now. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm on my phone as well.
All right, well, so I've got him on the phone, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to see if that's going to work. Let me try something real quick here to end this. I might be able to bring you up. And hold on, let me try this trick I'm going to do. I'm going to try to put 2 different cameras here. Okay, just give me a second, ladies and gentlemen. Camera. Okay, take away that. And then put on this. Let's see here. Dun, dun, dun. Shift, click. Okay. So, boy, this is going to be tricky. This is going to be really tricky to do. Okay, you're on the phone right now on the other side. But I don't know if people are going to be able to hear you. I don't think this will work all that well with the question and answer stuff. So here's what I'd like to do, Brother Francis. I'd like to have you back on, but I'd like to give you final words if you want to say some final words here, so people can see your face. And we're gonna close out here. But I'll let you give any final words you would like, and then let's plan on doing something again in the future, my friend.
Is there any connectivity issue from your end?
No, you're fine on the phone, but I'm holding up my phone in the camera. It's not a real great way to proceed.
Okay, can we try connect again for the last time, maybe?
Oh, on the you're saying on the actual laptop?
Yeah.
Yeah, we could try one more time, but we got to hang up on the phone because I got you on my phone. I'm putting it up to the screen. It's sort of an awkward way to do it.
Yeah, sure, no problem. You can hang up and call me again. I'm in a good network zone now. I'm out of my office.
All right, we're going to try. Yeah, guys, I know I'm on both sides here. So we're going to try this one more time, and then if not, we'll rock this again. All right? Trying it one more time here, ladies and gentlemen. He says he's in a better area so that it should work. Okay.
Yeah, I just came out from my office. You can see the cars behind me.
All right. Okay, it's better. All right. We got an atheist in the live chat who wants to interview Hindus. But
okay.
Yeah, I know, right? But check this out. So you said there's no similarities in your mind between Hinduism and Christianity, right?
Superficially, yes, but when you get into fundamental doctrines, fundamental teachings of both the religions, you don't find any similarity. Yeah.
So what are the superficial similarities?
The superficial similarities is that there's one ultimate God, and you would be shocked to hear that because that's one of the school of thoughts in Hinduism. There's one ultimate God, and these various gods are the manifestation of one true God. So that comes closer to the monotheism. And the second thing is you have to live a good life, and people try to connect it with Christianity, that when you become a Christian, you become a good person. And then when you live a good life, you gotta spend your eternity nicely, so you have to go to heaven. So that's what is called as Swarga in Hinduism. So you attain Moksha, you go to Swarg, and you be there. And what happens in Swarg, nobody knows it.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right. Very, very interesting. Someone else wants to know, do you have any upcoming debates?
Well, I am always ready for the debate. I have openly invited Muslims and Hindus, but nobody has accepted a debate. And one of the guy in India was cursing Christianity. I think we've spoken this before the live. He was calling out Christians or anybody who can answer his question. So we wrote an email, official email to him, asking for a professional debate on Skype. But he rejected. Rather, he asked me to come to a place full of goons. uh, so I don't see any intellectually strong Hindus in India at the moment as debaters. If they are, now they can consider this video as an open challenge, which I'll be putting up again on my YouTube channel. They can anytime accept this debate challenge on any topic of Hinduism versus Christianity.
Did you say he wants you to come to a place filled with goons?
Yeah, yes. So he invited me to a place, and I was happy. I was almost ready to go to that place for a debate because that's what I was wanting. I was the one to initiate the debate challenge first, but since I work for a corporate company, I travel across the country, so I had my friends in that part of the country. So when I asked him, "Can you tell me more about that location?" He said, "Why are you asking about that?" No, just asking. He said, "No, never go there because it's a place full of goons. You'll find people with sword and guns." I said, "Okay, this is what is lurking behind this debate invite."
Right. So it doesn't sound like a great situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. So people are saying, yeah, don't go to that. Don't go to that debate. So that's
Yep.
legit. Someone asked about what you do with the folks who say that Jesus went to India.
Wow. Yes, there are a couple of videos on my YouTube channel. So there are two arguments. Jesus coming to India between the age of 13 to 30. So they say that Jesus came to India. He studied in one of the biggest university and the oldest university of the world, Takshila University. So he learned all wisdom from Indian gurus, and he went back to his hometown and he preached in the form of gospels. So these are the funny arguments you will get to hear that Jesus come to India. I have made a video responding to that Jesus did not come to India, because when we read the Gospel of Luke, it is clearly mentioned, as his custom, Jesus would go to the synagogue to attend to attend programs, and he was identified as the son of carpenter. So in a Jewish community, it's an easy task for anyone to identify as the son of someone if they know them better. So there's no possibility of Jesus coming to India. If you want to dive deep into this topic, there's a video which I mentioned on my channel, so that the person asking this question can go back and listen to that video. And the second part of the argument can be Jesus come to India and he has gone to Kashmir and he has met one king called Shalivana, and they have a conversation. King asks him, "Where are you coming from?" And Jesus responds, "I come from a place, land of unbelievers, and I am just a messenger and I worship the sun god." So this is the argument which you will hear about Jesus coming to India. The second kind of argument which you may hear is Jesus did not die on the cross. He escaped and he came to India. So that's the kind of second line of argument which you may hear from some people. So there are videos up on my channel responding to all these arguments.
Are those birds in the background?
No, there goes.
No, the sound. I hear some kind of sound, like it sounds like birds.
Yeah, they're birds because I just came down. I'm in the parking lot actually now for a
So
better network.
those birds are really loud.
Yeah, maybe Indian crows are loud, probably. Sure.
Watch out! I think they might be trying to. I feel like they're ramping up for an attack or something. Maybe they're Hindu crows. I'm just kidding. Nationalistic, zealous type. Okay.
Not really. Yeah.
Yeah, not really. Okay, so Brother Francis, we end a lot of our shows with a freestyle. Do you know
Okay.
what a freestyle is?
No.
Okay, so a freestyle is where you rap, but you do it improv off the top of your head with nothing written down.
Oh my goodness.
Have
Okay,
you
how do I do that?
No, you don't have to do it unless you want to try. Are you musically inclined at all?
No.
Okay. So here's what we can do though. If I rap freestyle, right? Because see, if I get over 100 viewers on most live streams, I tell people, hey, I'll freestyle. So I do a free rap at the end of my apologetics shows, right? It's an American thing.
Okay.
It's contextual, right? And so
Oh.
I'll freestyle, but you can cooperate. Are you ready to try to cooperate?
Yep. Yes.
Okay.
I'm in.
So there's two ways we can do the cooperative part. I'll be rapping, and then about every 4 to 8 lines, you either text message me through Skype, or it's better if you say it. You say something. You have to interrupt. So I know you're very polite, but you have to kind of interrupt in the middle of why I'm going. And then what you're going to do is you're going to give me like one word. Like, so I'll say something, and then you'll say Brahmin. You know, I'll be rapping, da-da-da-da, and then you'll say India. And then I'll be rapping, and you'll say Glory Apologetics. And I'll be rapping. And so you're giving me the topics. Do you see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So you're providing the topics, and I'm supposed to do it off the cuff. The problem is, if you say something I don't know what it is, like some technical thing or something in another language, then I can't really do anything about it. So
I was really thinking of doing that.
Right. Well, we'll see. So are you ready to try this, my friend?
Sure. Yeah. Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to get the beat set up. We have 160 people watching, so 160 people are about to watch me maybe about to watch me fail. I'm just kidding. But let me get it set up. Hold on. Do you like any hip hop, by the way? What's your style of music?
I'm a traditional guy. I listen to classical music. That's it.
Classical as in like Beethoven classical?
Yeah, some sort of that.
Okay. What about is there any Indian hip hop?
There are some, but I occasionally listen to them.
All right. Well, let me find a beat first, okay? I got to find the right beat. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear the beat, but you'll be able to hear me rapping. So let me see if this beat works. Let's see. Having a little bit of delay here, but this will be interesting, guys. What do you guys think of that beat? You guys like that one? Hold on, let me get him on the screen with me. Let me get him on this. How do I get him on the screen? Hold on, I gotta get you on the screen here. Hold on, I'm trying to get you on the screen with me. It's not liking it. Okay. I'm trying to bring you on camera with me when I do the freestyle, but it's not.
All right.
Want it to. Just give me a second here. All right, guys, it's not like. I'm gonna have to try a different way here, because it's not liking me bringing him on the screen. Hold on, guys, just trying to set one other thing up. Let me try this. Okay. Hold on. We'll try to get into this. Let me see if this works. Choose file. I need to find the right beat. Okay, let's try this one. Hopefully it'll... Okay, there we go. Alright, just let me make a couple changes here. Guys, tell me about the sound. Trying to get the sound right. I think it needs to be down a little bit more, guys. Okay, I'm gonna start the beat over, Brother Francis, and then while I do that, tell me what's the first topic you're gonna give me. What's the first one, and then I'll start the beat.
Glory Apologetics.
Okay, all right, and then try to think of a couple other ones while I'm going. But guys, let me know about the sound. And it is time to start. I'm very excited. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. VOCAB with the freestyle flow. Rocking the mic. All right. Mic check it. Speaking of glory, apologetics. He tells his story. He makes it in India. God gets the glory. Peep this. It's like 1, 2, 3. His videos are in Hindi. You know he makes it like real loud, and he's coming upon 78,000 subscribers. So hit the button of bell. Kingdom? What'd you say? God's kingdom?
Build his kingdom.
Build his kingdom. Okay, good. All right, yeah. He sings the songs for freedom, so he can build Christ's kingdom. But it's not him doing the work. It's Jesus the Christ. He put in that work. He was hurt for our sins. He built his kingdom. He is the crown. He rules over them. He is sovereign. He will always win. He will not lose. He's Jesus. He's got the juice like gin. That's a weird metaphor. Here's the next one. I see 1, 2, 3, 4. You text it to me, so I look at the screen. It says REJOICE. That means rejoice. So I use my voice. Peep this out now. The beat is so moist. It's like funky. The beat's like a monkey, bouncing up and down all around the globe. Here, it's Tuesday tomorrow. For you, it's Wednesday. He took away my sorrow, so I don't have to be sad. I have rejoiced. You could say that I'm glad. You sent me the next one. I come from the mind. I see it. You said that this is the time. This is the time. It's what you text to me, and I'm looking. That's true, most definitely. Now is the time. It's not the time to rhyme. It's the time to shine for Christ most divine. So we spit it. We drink the new wine. Old wine skins get thrown out. That's right. Okay, I see the next one, and I see what's up. He texts me in the chat. It says, rise up like Christ on the third. We got to rise. In the background, heard birds. They were some crows. So you know it's time to rise up so we can really glow and shine for Jesus. They can see our acts of kindness, make it so much light that there's blindness, but it gives them light at the same time. Okay, yo, what's the next one? Top of the mind. Come on, we're going, we're rocking. It's true. You say he's coming real soon. That's the next thing that you put to me on Skype. He's coming real soon. It could be tonight. We just don't know. It's coming eventually. So we say Maranatha, Maranatha, you see. That means, Lord Jesus, come quickly. Peep this out. Now you rip the beat with me, Francis. He's like a saint. He takes his words, he uses them like paint. He ain't a Hindu, he ain't a Muslim. He's Jesus the Christ, all the way to Jerusalem. He goes against the cult with the mother. His name is Francis, and he is my brother. Yes, y'all, he smothers channels with his ill style. He might wear flannels, but now he has a collar. He's like a baller. What's the next thing? Come on, shot caller. The beat's almost ending. Now we're befriending. I take it back to Genesis, all the way to the beginning. I was sinning, but he saved me from my sin. Hey, yo, what's up, Francis? Peace out, my friend. That was pretty good. So, guys, he was texting me.
Yeah, I couldn't hear the beat, but yeah, you rapped well. Wow, I liked it.
Yeah, we just like to have fun. So check it out. When you go back, Francis, you can listen to the show, and you'll be able to see how it turned out when you were. Because guys, he was sending me stuff over Skype, and so I was reading it, and then I would mention it when he sent it to me. So that's what we did. So let's get out of here. You're a great, fun interview, and I had a blast, and I think everyone watching had a blast too, man. For real.
Thank you so much for having me here, and I'm so grateful, and thank you to all those who are listening. And probably, yes, I'll be having more prayer warriors remembering us in prayers. Yes, India needs apologetics. India needs people to stand up for Christ. Please do pray, and please do.
Amen. Amen. That's awesome. Final encouragement.
From India, and talk to your pastors.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Sorry, you broke out a little bit there and then. But guys, have a fantastic day. It's Wednesday in India, Tuesday over here. But wherever you are at, I hope you have a great day. And let's do this again. Subscribe to Glory Apologetics, and I'll see you Thursday when I go live again. All right. Have a great day at work, Brother Francis.
And subscribe to VOCAB Malone. Smash that subscribe button. Yeah.
That's right. Hey, even if you're in India and you only speak Hindi, just still subscribe.
Yeah.
All right. God bless.
Thank you so much, VOCAB. Thank you.